this is a sign that this is the beginning of a new chapter. And so you're here. I'm going to get choked up. I'm here for a reason. You're here for a reason. Even you, yes, you here, you at home, you're here for a reason watching this. You could be doing something else. Nothing else is important, but you could be doing something else. I want you to think about what's the new chapter. What is it?
So I think I have more confidence. I'll get more clients. I'm a wedding photographer.
You're a wedding photographer and you get more clients.
More clients. I can charge more.
Yes.
I can.
How much do you charge right now?
Right now, not enough.
What do you charge?
For 10 hours, 2,100.
Okay, and what do you want to charge?
I want to charge like 4,000, 5,000.
Okay, and what's the story you're telling yourself about why you can't charge that?
The story, I'm not good enough. I don't have enough equipment. I don't know if people are going to like what I do.
Do you like what you do? Do you see? We just got it right there. The thing, this is really good. Okay. So the thing that I want you to think about is that at the heart of this, you have a story that you're not good enough as a photographer yet. Is that true?
I think my thing is always been a perfectionist. But that's
do we have any other perfectionists in here?
But
yes.
now I understand that's just fear, right? It's fear, and I'm trying to. I post a lot of stuff lately because I'm following the rule, and a lot of stuff I don't even like it myself.
But do other people like it? But
I'm pushing people like it. There is no negative about it, but it's in my head like.
See, the source of all of the pain and the lack of money for you is coming from the fact that you don't like your work yet, and that you're such a perfectionist that until you can break the habit of going for trying to make things perfect, which it will never be. Exactly. It will never be. It'll be done, but it might not be perfect. Until we can break that habit, and it's a form of self-doubt that we're going to get into after the second break, till we can break you of that habit, you're always going to feel unstable, not on stable footing about asking for the $4,000.
And that's the thing, because right now I think I have make a lot of improvements because I read stuff and I try to get more around positive people and coming like here.
Yeah.
But it's like 3 days I'm on the top, the other 3 days I'm on the bottom.
Welcome to humanity. Yes.
So okay.
Ride the wave, Hector.
So I said, hey, it has to be a way that I can be more constant with the way I feel.
Yes, there is.
Right, because it's a point in your life, like I let fear control my life my whole time. So I'm saying, you know what, I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of living my life to 25% of my ability and capacity. I make myself miserable. I'm making my family miserable. I got 3 kids. I got a wife. Sometimes you just act like a stupid.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what to do. It's like you start feeling it and you project it and you just react. Like yesterday, I have a little episode with my wife because where you at?
Oh, tell us about it.
Yeah. yeah, because, I think it's I shaking and stuff, but I think that's what I need to do. Even I got like some confidence and I said, I just got to talk what I feel. I was thinking about writing everything, but I said, no, I'm just going to go there and whatever happens is going to happen because I like to control. So no, I'm not going to control it. I really want to go and push myself to use whatever I feel I'm going to say it. So yesterday I called my wife, but she didn't answer the phone. And I started okay, what's going on? Maybe I don't know, I start getting worried because, the 3 kids and getting worried and being honest, jealous. Like, what's going on right there? And then I start and like 5
I like that. I need that sound effect. I wish I could roll my arms because I like yes.
And then and I understand. And when she finally answered me, like, wait, what's going on? Like, nothing. The phone was in silence. Like, really? But I'm not home. Why I'm more aware? Blah blah. Like, and she like, you know what?
You know what's so interesting? So there's a couple things that I love about you. Number one, I love just that you are taking the coaching of get what you came for, and you're just putting it all out there. Okay, this is courage in action right here. This is actually real confidence. He doesn't feel confident, but this is what It is. He's trying. He's like putting it out there, and he's being honest. And how many of you can relate to any aspect of this story? Raise your hand. Look around. So there's a couple things, and I think that number one, there's an aspect to your own skills and your own celebration of work that if you were to develop a few new habits around that, it would bolster your confidence, because once you understand the science of confidence and the importance of seeing the actions first, not the belief, I'll prove to you that kind of going and addressing the skill piece so that you yourself feel more confident and celebrate your work, that'll help. Number two, what I love about what you said is he is proving a point that we haven't even got to yet, that your life happens in these 5-second windows. That in the most profound part of your story that would change any of our lives is when he called his wife and she didn't answer, and then make that sound for me. Your mind went, yeah. That happens in 5 seconds flat.
Yep.
Right? You can't control whether or not your spouse picks up the phone. The feelings that rise up, whether it's jealousy or anger or frustration, totally normal and natural. What you do next is a choice. And so for you, there's going to be two things that I want you to be thinking about as we go through all of the curriculum here, is I want you to be thinking about, number one, the self-control mentally, so you don't go down that tunnel. And number two, what is missing in my craft and my skills as a photographer so that I feel that I am worthy of $4,000. Look, if you need a fancy camera because that's what a $4,000 photographer has, so be it. But if you're actually gathering and collecting equipment and collecting certifications as a way to hide and not have to do it, that's self-doubt. Make sense?
Yep.
Okay, cool. Give him a round of applause. Awesome. When you try something new, you're going to be terrified. You're going to be nervous. That's normal. You're either going to succeed or you'll survive. And just like I told you that, look, I had a talk show deal 7 years ago that basically went, what's that sound effect? I can't do it. I'm going to learn how to roll my R's today. I learned something from that. And we cognitively know this, and see, this is the challenge with these kind of topics. They're heady. We know these things, but how do you get this in your bones? Well, you understand that when you succeed or survive, you learn something, right? And then when you learn something, you're building a skill. The more that you gain competency, the lower your anxiety drops. The more your nerves drop, the more your doubt drops because you're learning it. And so what ends up happening when you have competency is now you've got confidence. Pretty cool, right? So we talk about this stuff, but understanding that this is the only way to build it. And this is what I want to pound into your brains. Yes, thinking positive helps a lot. But confidence and self-doubt, breaking the cycle starts with action. That's what it starts with. You cannot positively think your way through the kind of emotional angst that Hector's putting himself through. Not going to work. But if he sees himself acting differently, he's going to change. That's why this is my definition for confidence. It's the decision to try. Good. That was good.
That time.
Yes, I was. I was a stone heart. I'm going to steal that joke. That's a good one. Yes.
Why she call it like that? He call it like that?
Yes, a stone heart. I had a stone heart. It's so true because I was afraid. I was afraid. I was falling into one of the traps of self-doubt. Fear. How are we going to pay for this? What's going to happen? Phone. He calls his wife. She's not there. The emotions immediately take over. He knows not to do that. You know in that moment not to be a jerk, not to sound off, not to get jealous. You know, but that doesn't help. I would have the alarm go off. And the second it went off, that wave of emotions came up. Failure. I'm a loser. I'm going to lose everything. I'm the worst mother. I'm so angry at Chris. I'm terrified, just so stuck. And within moments, I'd be hitting the snooze. Because self-doubt triggers action. And we're going to talk about that in the next section that we're going to be doing. So I was stuck like a lot of us get stuck. You get stuck between knowing what you need to do and actually not doing it. It's the curse of knowledge. So the next morning, same thing, same situation as with Hector. The alarm goes off. Immediately the feelings rise up, right? Because you can't control how you feel. I felt overwhelmed. I felt like a loser. I felt like a bad mom. I did not feel like getting up. Feelings are normal. But you can always choose what you do and what you think. So I went 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I know it's the dumbest story you've ever heard, but this is actually what happened. And I stood up. And I'll never forget it, you guys. It was a really strange moment. It was one of those chapters beginning. And then the next morning, the alarm goes off, and I had the Hector moment. We're going to now call it the Hector moment. I'm the stone heart. He's the Hector moment. I had the Hector moment where the emotions, the alarm goes off. I don't feel like getting up. I'm still angry at Chris. We still have all these problems. I'm still the loser mom. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm getting up. The next morning, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm getting up. And that's when it hit me. It hit me that, oh my God, in 5 seconds flat, either self-doubt wins or you do. In 5 seconds flat, either your feelings dictate what you're about to do or you do. In 5 seconds flat, you can change anything, and that changes everything in life, because this is the secret to self-monitoring. Whatever it was that you said that you wanted more money, you wanted more, the ability to be able to focus, you wanted to change your relationship. It comes down to changing who you're being every single time. And the fastest, the simplest way to do that is to reduce the things that you need to do into 5-second windows. Now,
right there, I'm just realizing that you overthink for the good stuff, but don't overthink for the bad stuff. Like my reaction in the Hector moment.
Yep, the Hector
I didn't
moment.
overthink being an ass.
Yes.
I just did it.
Yes.
And when it's good stuff, is when I overthink.
Because you doubt yourself.
Yeah,
you're getting triggered by the fear and by the doubt. This is an action. I want you to understand self-doubt is not a feeling. It is the actions that you take in response to these whole array of normal feelings that we have. It impacts how much you sell or whether or not you sell. It impacts how you talk to people. It impacts whether or not you put your work out there. It impacts what you price things at. And so what happens is, as you overthink, then you start to doubt yourself, and now you're stuck in this loop. And when I explain the science of habit loops and how they get encoded in your brain, this is going to make so much sense and be so liberating, because this is the trap that we're all in. You get triggered by your feelings, and then you choose an action that keeps you trapped. You will not get what you don't ask for. You just won't. This is how self-doubt works. You get worried about something, cortisol flies in, you start thinking, now the risk feels so huge, so you're not going to make that cold call. You're not going to ask for $4,000 instead of $2,000. And guess how fast it happens? 5 seconds flat. Is that when we were all kids, you had people that pushed you. You had teachers that saw greatness in you. You had youth group leaders and coaches, and you had parents, and you had relatives, people that didn't buy your BS, that didn't care how you felt, and that just pushed you. And what sucks about being an adult is that you're lucky if you get home at the end of the day from work and somebody you're related to says something nice to you, you know? We're alone. Yeah, we're alone. I'm telling you right now, I've been pounding this in your head. You can't control the stuff that happens, and you cannot control how you feel. When you change the behavior, you trick your mind. Because we can't control this thing. This is why being sober is so incredibly difficult, because there are so many triggers. There's the smell, there's the bars, there's the people you used to drink with, there's the time of day that it is, there's certain songs that come on. All of those are triggers that trigger you to go into a chunk of behavior that's encoded. Self-doubt, confidence, exact same thing. Exact same thing. So what's happening in your mind is right here in the red, in the central region of your brain. This is where those patterns get encoded. This is where habit loops become engineered into your mind as a closed loop system. Something that you do without even thinking. So I'm going to give you an example. You walk into your closet, there's a pair of jeans, you're going to pull them down. Which leg do you put in first? You're thinking about it right now, right? You don't when you put your jeans on, because the pattern of grabbing it and lifting, for me, it's my right leg, that's encoded as a chunk right here. So I've been experimenting with this because I want to, I just want to understand this stuff. And so I would go in there and I would literally grab the jeans and start to do this. And knowing that I want to change 5, 4, put on this one. And now I've actually retrained myself to, I mean, it's a dumb example, but this puppy right here is your prefrontal cortex. If I were to pick up a camera and try to learn what some of you know, this would be blinking. Seriously, like a Christmas tree lights, blinking. This part of your brain is active in functional MRIs when you're learning new behavior, when you're acting with courage, and when you're doing any kind of strategic thinking. So in order to change yourself, we got to get you out of here, and we got to activate this part of the brain. And what's cool about the 5-second rule, because this part of the brain will fight you on changing, because you already know you're supposed to put your right leg in first. This part of the brain is active when I'm training myself to interrupt those impulses and use this one. So this part of the brain makes it harder. This part of the brain makes change easy. When you count backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, you activate the prefrontal cortex. That's what's happening. Nothing in life is permanent. You can change anything at any time. You can change your thinking patterns. You can change your behavior. You can change who you hang out with. You always are in control. Any other quick questions? Yes, Hector.
Yeah, first I want to say also that I was doing 2 things. Avoiding because when I feel like the worry,
yes,
I decide to think of something else.
Yes.
I didn't change the word for excitement.
Okay.
You know what I was doing? I was trying to understand the feeling.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so much time like trying to understand like why I feel that way. I went to my childhood.
Who else does that? You spend all this time like, why am I feeling this way, right?
That kind of stuff. And now I say, okay, you gotta change the anchor to that.
Yes. And you also let the feelings come. So the feelings are normal. Do not focus on the feelings. Feeling jealous is normal. Listening to it's a choice. Feeling anxious and scared is normal. Listening to it is a choice. And so in those 5-second windows, when you feel feelings come up, don't add to them. Choose to act differently. And now you also know using 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 and anchor thoughts, you can stabilize what your body is doing and you can redirect what your mind is thinking about.
So then the question is about raising prices, right?
Yes.
For example, like
yes.
feeling more value for my own work.
Yeah.
So I because it's been something my whole life, maybe it's not, you're not going to change from one day to the other. Bueno, that's my, maybe you can.
So do you want to raise your prices from 2,100 to 4,000?
Yes.
Then do it.
Just like that.
Yes.
That's easy.
And you're not going to feel like you're ready for it. But nobody's going to come out and be like, oh, 2,100, I think you're worth 4. I'll pay you more. But they might say, 4, could you do 3? And then you get to choose, yes or no. See, the problem is that what'll happen if you underprice yourself is you will actually start to resent the customers that are paying you for what you asked for. When you start to feel that way, it is time to raise your prices. Because it's not their fault that all this stuff is getting done so cheaply. It's your fault for charging that much. And so, yes, if you want to get paid $4,000, ask for it. They can always say no, and so can you. And you're not going to feel ready. That's part of the imposter syndrome. And so as you feel that angst, if it doesn't go away with you asking 4, no, it's a numbers game, right? Then you go to work for what is it that makes you uncomfortable. And you did say something about how you're not totally proud of your work. So I would share your work more on social media. And if there's a particular kind of class that you need to take from Creative Live to up the skills, take it. Okay? But continue to ask for 4. Yes. Danny.
Mine is just actually a comment to Hector, but sometimes when and that I've noticed, you're dealing with somebody that undervalues their own product, it makes the customer also undervalue your product as well, especially if you are so much cheaper or inexpensive than the other. Then it's like, okay, well, then maybe I shouldn't go with him because I want really good quality photos. So sometimes when you undervalue, they'll undervalue it as well.
And you can also do my trick. That's excellent advice, Danny. You can ask them, what's your budget? Because then and you can say, if they say my budget's $2,000, you say, oh, my starting price is 4. So I have these 5 rules, these 5 habits. No phone in your bedroom, period. When your phone is next to your bed, which most of us have it there, What I know is that before you get out of bed, you're going to do this in the morning. And your dreams are not on your phone. Your priorities are not on your phone. It's other people's garbage. And one of the most important things that you could do is before you go to bed, one 5-second decision that changes everything is put the phone in the bathroom, put it in your closet, plug it in, set the alarm, turn off the alerts, leave the ringer on, tell your friends and family if they need you, call me. Don't text. This is rule number 2, no snooze. It's now in the closet and you're screwed. You got to get out of bed. The snooze button, when you hit it and you develop a habit of doing it, or even just you hit it once, you are engaging in a behavior that impacts your productivity for up to 4 hours. So you have put yourself in a state by hitting the snooze alarm that impacts speed of processing, ability to focus, all of it. And it lasts about 4 hours. It's not that you didn't get enough sleep. You'd be much better off if you could only sleep 5 hours, not hitting the snooze button, but jumping in a cold shower. You'll literally will be alert, you won't have interrupted the sleep cycle, and you are now in a position neurologically to get up and to do what you need to do. The third rule, so then I get my stuff and I go into the kitchen and I've got my little journal and I do what I call 30 before 7:30. So I have developed this habit that has fundamentally changed my business. So before I look at the phone, before I get other people's to-do list, before I get distracted by the rest of the world, I get out of bed, I don't look at my phone, I sit down and I find about 30 minutes. And then there's a particular way in which I plan. And I'm going to show you that in just a second. This is a game changer because for those of you that cannot find time, this gives you the time you can't find. And this is the other reason why it's a game changer. So because you got up and you didn't hit the snooze button, you're not struggling with sleep inertia, so you're alert. The second thing is that Dan Ariely, the professor and best-selling author, has figured out that the best 2 hours of the day for your brain are the first 2 hours. So the first 2 hours of the day, best 2 hours for your brain. So if you can dedicate some of that time to the stuff that matters to you, you win. So then I fill out this form, and you'll see I've got my little gauge, depleted, meh. But I want to show you a particular aspect of this. I want to show you this. So rule number 4, when you sit down to do your 30 before 7:30, or whenever you end up doing, it might be 5 minutes before 6 a.m., whatever. I want you to focus on one small move. We've talked about this so much today. One small move. That's it. And I want you to plan it in a particular way. Okay? First, you're going to identify the project you're working on. Today, my project for me. It could be that you're going to go to therapy. It could be that you're going to exercise today. It could be that you're going to, write out a module for your improv sales business. It could be that you're going to, what is your project? What is the project that matters most to you? It could be anything today. One thing for you. Second thing you're going to do, you're actually going to write down, why does it matter to you? Remind yourself, in this particular example, publishing my first novel inspired by my grandmother's remarkable life that I've been wanting to write for years. Why does this matter? I'll feel so proud of myself for actually doing it. You don't have to have 3, just write 1. I hate my job, and I've always dreamt of being a writer. Working on it will help me stop thinking and get started. When you identify why something matters to you, you elevate it as a priority in your mind. You actually activate this part of your brain where when you set a to-do list and you prioritize it, your mind is designed to hold it as an open task. And then it reminds you of it. What's it called, Mandy? The Zeigarnik effect is what you're leveraging here. We're also leveraging in this, the third thing, one small action I can move forward. Today, my project that I'm working on is, this project matters to me because one small action I can take to move forward is. I cannot stress enough, next to not sleeping with the phone, this little planning strategy, which is backed by research, will change everything, because the Zeigarnik effect is something that you are leveraging in terms of your brain. brain anchoring on this, and you're leveraging research from the Harvard Business School on what's called the progress principle. When they crunch the data on what makes somebody feel like they've had a good day, what makes somebody feel like work is going well, what makes somebody feel proud of themselves, it's all the same. All the same. Did you make progress on something that matters to you? If you didn't, your day feels like a waste of time. So we are leveraging the progress principle and the way that your brain works to help you focus on one small action. So once you get here, either do it now or find the time when you're going to do it. Now, here's the benefits of this. We activated the progress principle, and when you figure out what matters to you and you focus on one small action, just forward, I don't care how little it is, forward is forward, folks. It increases people's rates of completion on the overall project to 76%. It sounds so stupid that these little things work, but they unlock aspects of the way that your brain naturally works to your advantage. So when you pick one small move forward, it makes it easier to try, doesn't it? And when you try, you reduce self-doubt because you see yourself taking action. You know from the confidence competency loop that actually builds confidence. And then, of course, because you have progress based on all this research that's coming out of the Harvard Business School on something that matters, it actually creates this momentum effect. So this teeny little tweak, one selfish project for you, remind yourself why this is important, and one teeny little move you're going to make forward, and you win every time. Now, let me show you this crazy trick that will also change things. Plan when you quit working. Let me remind you that 96% of creative breakthroughs don't happen while you're working. So super important. So the 5 habits: no phone in the bedroom, no snooze, 30 before 7:30, or make whatever thing it is that you want to do. One project that matters. That's it. One project that matters in one small way, and set a quitting time. If you have a problem that can be solved with action, you don't have a problem. And even if the problems that you feel that you face are mental, you can solve them with action. And you also now know how. See it, spot it, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and move. That is what's going to work every single time. And if you can start to absorb this idea that confidence in every aspect of your life is just the decision to try. That's it. It begins right there. Look, I don't expect you to be perfect. I expect you to fail, but I do expect you all to try. Thank you for being here.